Hey everybody, we are back and we are here with another pop review. Now, I know that in a previous podcast episode a while ago, I sampled the Sprite Cranberry and I gave it high marks. Since then, I believe my opinion has changed. As we slowly worked our way through that 12-pack of Sprite Cranberry.
When did we drink that? Was that like November?
That was like around Thanksgiving. It lost its luster very quickly.
The aftertaste for me.
Yeah, it had a strange aftertaste. So anyways, I'm here today with a top 5 soda pop.
I was going to say, we don't call it soda. We call it pop.
It's pop here, but
it's pop.
But a top 5er. You agree with me?
Yes, of course.
Like Canada Dry Ginger Ale is a top 5 pop. Not to mention a top 5 pop, but one that I correspond with drinking around the Christmas and New Year's time, big time.
Do you think you correspond with that because that tends to be when everyone has the stomach flu? So we're just drinking it more than usual?
It does settle. It does really good settling a tum-tum.
The box itself is pretty Christmassy, too.
Well, I got to be honest with you. More than once, I've bought the Christmas time box of ginger ale thinking it was like a cranberry ginger ale, only to find out that it was just the regular ginger ale. Because I'm brand...
That's not how the box looks year-round?
No, it's just a regular green box most of the year.
But even its regular box gives me a Christmas vibe.
Sure, I suppose so.
On that note, though, Happy New Year.
Yeah, hey, welcome everybody to We Watch TV, the podcast about TV we watch. I am Daniel, she is Hope, and this is episode 50.
Episode 50.
If you can believe it.
You were about ready to say Happy New Year, and then you were like, hi, welcome.
Hello, hi to the... I can't talk today.
This episode is being recorded in the past, but coming at you in the future.
Well, it's the present for us now, but it'll be the past when they're listening to it.
You know who's scary? The Ghost of Future. And even in the Muppets, every version, it's like the Ghost of Christmas Past and Present are like, they're chill. But Future in every version is like so menacing and terrible. So why is that?
I mean, so the Ghost of Christmas Past is kind of solemn to a certain extent because you're looking back at things and there's like a melancholy feeling about the past, and then Christmas Present is all just about the party. Christmas Future is like scary because it's like things that could happen that could be bad.
In every single version of that, which I guess like Scrooge is.
The whole point is they're trying to scare the crap out of these people into being a better person so they don't have a terrible afterlife.
Do you think that normal people get Scrooged like that Hallmark movie from 2022? Like it's not just Ebenezer Scrooge, like it happens randomly. Remember the one that had Carl Winslow
I do remember the Hallmark movie, yes. No, I don't think that happens.
And then she ended up they ended up Scrooging the wrong person. They were supposed to Scrooge his dad, but then she fell in love with the guy, and then somehow she ended up, and she got to stay in the present time.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how we're getting to this conversation, so I know you're going to make me knock on wood, but I don't believe in ghosts.
Knock on wood right now. Anyway, when you guys are listening to this, it is the year 2024. And this is episode 50. Like Daniel said of the podcast, did you think we'd make it to 50 episodes?
I didn't even really think about it.
We started this podcast late January of 2023. And we have posted on every Tuesday. Since our first couple weeks, we had some on Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
But we've had post. I think
technically
we've had a podcast every Tuesday, right?
I think technically it'll be episode 53 will be our actual 1 year anniversary, not 52, because we had that first episode and second episode kind of came out in quick succession.
When you think about it, sometimes
and ruined our Tuesday. Right?
Does it bother you that we did because I know we launched White Lotus on a Saturday because we wanted to pump out content. Does it bothers my OCD a little bit that we just didn't have the Tuesday each episode as a regular
I just try not
Tuesday.
to think about it. If I don't think about it and it's far enough in the past in the rear view mirror now that I don't have to think about it. But when I go back and look at it, it's like it bothers me a little bit.
And that's why some of our New Year's plans continued therapy for us both. Good mental health. For sure.
Yes.
So we are having a pretty short episode today because let's face it, if you are back at work, you're probably, not into it, just like you probably weren't into Boxing Day. And it's just kind of that time of year where people are still just trying to get through over the holidays. The holidays always, I feel like it's always like a hangover. Like even if you don't drink on the holidays, just a feeling like November hits and it's just continuous. Go, 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 go. You have Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the trappings that come along with all of it. And then you have that weird gray zone. And then I feel like January always lasts forever. But
nobody can see your hand motions, right? She is over here like really like going for it with the hand motions on this speech she's giving.
They understand how I am, and they know it. I feel that our listeners can feel what I am saying and see and visualize. But I feel like things don't really start to get normal again until like mid-January, maybe after Martin Luther King Day.
It throws me off because one of the reasons of many why we're doing a podcast today is because for me, like my weekly podcasts that I listen to are very routine. They help me through the week. I know they come out on these days, and I can listen to them while I'm cooking dinner or while I'm doing
almost all of mine are off though.
Stuff like that, and well, yeah, because this time of year they take weeks off, and it's like my entire like routine around my life crumbles to pieces. And so I was sitting here thinking, no, I can't do that to our loyal listeners. They need to hear my voice to let them know that everything's okay. The holidays will pass, and we'll get back to the routine, mundane of life.
Yeah, I feel like usually mine take at least the 2 weeks off, 2 to 3 weeks off around the holidays. I wanted to go ahead and put an episode out just because, again, of the aforementioned OCD. I wanted to be like, well, we posted every Tuesday consistently since we started. We've got to keep it going. We've got to keep it going.
Even that one Tuesday when we didn't get the episode out until like 4 p.m., but it was still on Tuesday.
Yes, I remember. We still made it happen. I think it was even after 4 p.m. Like, I think it was pretty. I think
we recorded that day.
Yeah, I feel like we got it out around like 7 or something.
We've gotten better about pre-recording since then, but we were pushing it at that point.
But we do hope that everybody had a good holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, or if it's just another day for you. We hope you had a nice time.
May your football team have had a really nice bowl season, except for the Pittsburgh Panthers, who didn't get to go to a bowl at all.
Call them Pitt.
Sorry.
And do we know? We don't at the time of this recording, but WVU is played in the prestigious Duke's Mayo Bowl. Have you ever had Duke's Mayo? We're a Kraft Hellman's kind of family.
Yeah, I don't know that I didn't know that brand existed. I guess that's the point of the bowl game.
Is that people have been retweeting stuff that the Duke's Mayo company tweets leading up to this bowl game.
I saw that.
And they were like, can you put mayo on a pepperoni roll? And we're all like, no.
No, you're canceled if you do that.
I'm going to have to guess that WVU does not win that game. But when our January 9th episode comes out, I'll know by then if WVU won or not.
Yeah.
So
you should have recorded 2 different versions of this. Because they'll have played by this episode coming out, and then I could have swapped it in real quick at the last minute.
Because nothing says a successful football season like playing on December 27th.
In the Mayo Bowl.
At least it's like a normal time. I think one year we played it like really late, and then sometimes we get like a 2 o'clock game.
Remember we played in that stupid like pinstripes game in New York?
Don't
in the Yankee Stadium?
Bring that game up. That game was cold and awful. Tavon Austin was rendered useless because he was scared to death to run. And I don't blame him. Why injure yourself for a stupid bowl game?
That means nothing.
So not all the bowl games have been played, though, right? And the national championship is played.
I don't know when they play that thing anymore.
I always forget about it.
Because it's always that week after everything when no one cares about college football anymore.
Yeah, and like I'll forget it like even exists.
Yeah, so I don't know. They need to do something about that.
All I know is that Florida State's not going to be there because they didn't get in the. I think I already.
That's true. Yeah, you ranted about that already.
In the playoffs, I didn't rant about it. I said karma from 30 years ago. Anyway, whether you watched bowl games, if you enjoyed some Hallmark movies, what was your favorite Hallmark movie of the 2023 season?
Round and Round.
Round and Round. So that was the Hanukkah one.
Yes.
Just the straight up Christmas ones, though.
Biltmore was the best of the straight up Christmas ones. Yes.
Is it because it had Riker in it?
I mean, Riker being in it went a really long way.
How interesting is it? I just realized that the best 2 Hallmark movies of the 2023 season had former One Tree Hill cast members in it. So we had Bethany Joy Lenz in A Biltmore Christmas, and then we had Brian Greenberg, who played Jake Jagalski in Round and Round.
I need to check the Round and Round cast list and see if any of those people were in Star Trek, because then we'd have a real theory going. You get like One Tree Hill and a Star Trek together,
I guess.
and you got a guaranteed good Hallmark movie.
And this is what happens when you have no show notes and you don't know. And I say, let's go with the flow.
Yeah, I was like, so what are we talking about? And she's like, I don't know. Let's just start playing.
Daniel kicked it off by talking about pop. So we are going to come back next Tuesday, with a regular scheduled episode. We're going to have some OC rewatch content for you. We're going to talk about some of these shows that we are most looking forward to that are coming out in 2024. I know we picked a heck of a time to start a TV podcast, as the strike has delayed a lot of things. So I think it's going to be hard for me to come up with my list because, one, a lot of my shows that I really enjoy are done. Ted Lasso done. Maisel is done.
I think the most difficult thing is going to be the shows that are going to come out in 24. None of them have dates yet. Almost like we know.
Bridgerton has a date.
Yeah, I know your thoughts on that.
I'm a little salty about that.
But like,
it's done, and we're not getting it till May, and they're splitting it in 2 parts, and then we're not getting the second part till June. Ridiculous. It's been done for a while, but that's called Netflix needs to have people keep their subscriptions, and because they don't have as much content, they're gonna have to spread stuff out, and I think you're gonna see that.
Well, like The Boys is coming in 24.
Yes,
but we don't know when yet.
Exactly. So I think it's going to be a little hard to come up with. We're just probably going to end up naming a lot of the shows we're looking forward to, but we don't have a lot of dates. I've already gotten some tragic information that The Summer I Turned Pretty is probably not going to come out till 2025, which it's like, excuse me, what? Ew.
Well, the real tragic information is they are filming Strange New Worlds season 3, but there's no chance that comes out this year in 24.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
We picked a really good time to do a TV podcast, but there are a wealth of shows that we've never seen. So just like we've done the OC rewatch, I'm sure we will go back, rewatch another show. We still have to, guys. We've only seen one episode of House of Dragon. That's one of the ones
we need to pick up
out.
House of Dragon. We talked
Is it
like
Dragon or Dragons?
House of Dragon. I thought
House of Dragon. Okay.
I know we promised The Last of Us a long time ago.
Yeah.
There was that one there was a couple Apple TV shows that we were looking
Idris
at.
Elba on Apple TV.
So,
I still haven't finished the morning show. Just because I got really behind, so I need to get in there. We never finished Upload. We watched one episode of the new season, pieced out.
Yeah.
We still are watching What We Do in the Shadows. We did watch why don't we talk about that on this? We watched a really funny episode of What We Do in the Shadows, and we didn't talk about it in our previous podcast because they were more holiday themed. But it was the Flip It one.
The flipping one, yeah. Season.
Is it Flip It or Flip Off? Like what's the name
something
of the show?
like that. They started it, and so a couple episodes prior to this one, they just threw a random commercial in the middle of it for a TV show that was like one of those house flipper shows.
It tried to look like an HGTV
show.
show.
And I was like, that's really weird. They're building to something. And then I recalled that Laszlo had been watching something on YouTube the season before about guys that go in and do that stuff, and it turned out to be the same thing. And so all of a sudden, then the entire episode is just filmed as if it was an episode of that house flipping show, and it was really great. The twist at the end of it
was fantastic. He really is the most devious bastard in New York City.
Simon the Devious was playing the long game.
Yes.
It was a great episode.
So I can't wait to get back into that.
We did get sad news about What We Do in Shadows. The season 6 that's coming out this year will be the final season.
So we are going to get it in 2024 confirmed? Have they started filming?
I think it's confirmed for 24, but again, they've given no dates. I don't think any of the streaming services are giving dates because they're trying to see
how they can fill the void,
what they can actually fill the time with. So it's going to be an interesting year.
Hopefully, we'll do some more research on this before we record for our episode on the 9th, and we'll give you guys the dates that we have, the ones that don't have dates. It's like I said, it's going to be hard for me to come up with a list. What else ended? I know I got into Succession, but as soon as I got into Succession, it ended. But like Ted Lasso and Maisel, those were 2 of my big shows. I know Only Murders, I'm going to get another season of that. Again, don't know.
That won't. There's no chance that's going to be in 24. No.
But a lot of my shows have ended.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lean year. It's going to be an interesting year for trying new things that you're not familiar with.
Absolutely.
So that's always fun. So in anticipation of that, if anybody out there has anything on their radar for 24 that they know they are going to watch and they're excited for, whether it's something new or something that's already got a couple seasons, shoot them our way on the Instagram account, and we'll certainly take a look and see what we can fit into what looks to be a very interesting watching schedule this year.
Absolutely. But we're going to press on We're going to keep doing it. Keep doing this podcast for you guys.
If I've got to turn this into a Star Trek rewatch, there's 900 episodes of Star Trek we could watch.
Not. Now, I did mention to you that we could do a Buffy rewatch. Daniel's never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I don't know that I'm interested in that.
It's dorky, though. Like, I think you would like it from that perspective. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? What about some movies? Can you think of any movies off the top of your head? We never got to see The Marvels. It was in our theater for maybe like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
Gone.
We'll catch that.
We'll catch that when it comes to Disney Plus.
There are, not a lot of movies that I'm aware of. Like, obviously, Deadpool 3 is the only Marvel movie in 2024.
Like, I feel like 2023, I knew I was getting the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
And I was pumped for it. And I don't think we're ever going to have a weekend like we had with Barbenheimer again. And you know what I think is a good kind of segue into this unhinged New Year's podcast? Just to remember some of the highlights of stuff we did watch in 2023. And Barbenheimer weekend was amazing and probably one of the most fun weekends I've had at a movie theater in a while.
Yeah, it certainly was the highlight. I do know this year there's going to be plenty of movie companies that try to recreate the Barbenheimer experience, but the reason it was successful is because it was so organically created by the people.
The fans did it.
The fans.
The studios didn't do it.
Yeah.
And why it won't work this time is because now the studios are going to try to do something and shoehorn it down. Created this. Like, I would have never seen Oppenheimer. You would have seen Barbie because I would have had you come see it with me.
Well, I probably wouldn't have gone to see Oppenheimer if you hadn't agreed to go with me.
You probably would have waited, yeah. And it ended up being just such a fun weekend. And I felt like that was one of the high points of 2023 stuff we watched. I loved getting into Succession. I think I already mentioned that. Mm-hmm. It was one of those shows I'm like, I cannot believe I have not been watching this. But as quickly as we got into it, as quickly as it ended.
I'm kind of happy we watched it all at one time the way we did.
Yeah, because didn't they have like a 2-year wait between one of the seasons? That would have been awful.
Yeah.
Some shows are better in binge format.
Oh, I agree with that, for sure. I think the shows that have a lot of detail to them, a lot of things that you've got to keep track of in your head,
for sure.
Binging is better because you've got that fresh in your mind. Like, it gets really tough sometimes with some of those shows. I think
like even comedies, that's why we can't get into Upload.
Yeah,
don't remember what happened.
Just don't remember what happened.
It's
after it's been so long.
Was bad.
The previously on that one was
it
bad.
It did not catch us up to speed.
Not at all. So I Barbenheimer was great. I liked watching Succession. Season 2 of Strange New Worlds
was great.
Was amazing, even though they cliffhangered us in a big way.
We had 2 amazing finales almost back to back. Like, I've already mentioned this, I think, like 3 times in this podcast. But Ted Lasso and Maisel ended in 2023. Both of the finales were great. And it is so hard to write a good finale. And they both did a great job.
And let's not forget, early in the year, Picard came out and really redeemed itself after the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I feel like we liked the first season because we were so happy to have him back. But when I reflect back on that and I look at how the first season was, I'm like,
and then we didn't even finish the second season.
We had one episode to go, and then I read what happened, and we didn't finish it. But yeah,
was it just one? I thought we missed multiples, but
no,
it was bad.
We had like one episode to go.
So it's been an interesting year. It'll be. I'm looking forward to 24. Like I said, I think it's going to be a different year. I think we're going to have to try a bunch of stuff that's sitting out there. We're not going to watch Breaking Bad. Quit asking.
I don't think anyone's asked that, but
I don't think they have. But we're not going to.
I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
If you don't hook me in early into a show, you're not going to get me.
TikTok is convinced I want to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm on the North Sea TikTok right now. So I don't know. All I can think about is I don't like being on boats anyway because I often get seasick and everything is North Sea. It's like North Sea sponsoring TikTok right now. I don't know how I got into the North Sea TikTok.
You're getting the song, the yo.
And then people are like showing pictures of like their like regular cruises that they're on, maybe not necessarily the North Sea, but are like water everywhere. And I'm like, I didn't really want to go on a cruise before, and I certainly don't want to go on a cruise now. Scary.
Yeah, I have negative interest in a cruise. Like, it just seems miserable to me.
What are some other highlights of 2023? I feel like the first half of 2023 went so slow, and then the back half has been a blur. Do we remember when I was convinced in August and September that NSYNC was going to announce a reunion tour?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a bummer.
She's got her clown makeup on right now, everybody.
I still think they're going to get a reunion together at some point.
It's not going to happen.
Especially now that Britney's book came out. Justin needs some better press now. I still haven't seen the Trolls movie with the song, but I listen to Better Place all the time.
We're going to go see that Trolls movie, and we're going to get a concert, and no money is no object, and blah, 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 blah,
we're
blah.
We're still going to get a concert, a reunion.
And here you are in
I thought
January.
they were going to be at the Super Bowl. I was like, they're going to be performing at the Super Bowl. Who is it? Usher?
I don't know.
It's Usher.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he's very Super Bowl-y.
My short list, if I got to pick for Super Bowl, would be Weird Al,
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. Yes, those are the two. Those would be two amazing. And like I know, like realistically, it's never going to be Weird Al. Foo Fighters, I think, is realistic. They've got a ton of songs that have that the normal American public would get.
Why would the normal American public not like Weird Al?
The normal American public would. I'm talking about the people who put that stuff together. They're going to be like, no, we're not doing Weird Al.
See, that would be in my list, my wish list, and then obviously Taylor Swift. But Taylor Swift doesn't need to do the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl needs her. That's another highlight.
Yeah, football needs her.
Seeing the Eras Tour film. That was fun.
That was long. Then you watched Wrath of Khan.
You liked it.
Yeah, it was fine.
And then I watched Wrath of Khan.
And now you're going to watch Search for Spock coming up here this year.
You didn't tell me that Khan was kind of like low-key hot in a way.
It never crossed my mind, believe it or not.
My Star Trek wish list for 2024. Wow, this episode is very unhinged. But my Star Trek wish list is for someone to cast Dr. McCoy.
Oh, in Strange New Worlds?
I think it's time. It's time we bring him on. I'm ready. He's like my favorites. I like him the best. Like he is just, he's perfect.
Yeah,
his one-liners. I liked it when Carl Urban played him in the Kelvin universe.
Yeah, I think you could.
Hate that I know that phrase, by the way. Wow.
I'm doing a great job over here. I'm doing an excellent job. I'm so proud of myself.
Wow.
Alrighty, well, I think that is enough rambling for everybody for one podcast. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us in 2023, and we look forward to talking again in 2024 as it goes on. Get us your recommendations for either shows that are going on that you think we should be watching, or new shows that you think are coming out and that we would be interested in. You want to hear our commentary on.
Did you not hear my little quip there?
No, I'm trying not to listen to you most of the time.
Oh, okay. Same. Anyway, we will be back, we promise, starting the 9th with a regular episode. There are some shows that I have watched without Daniel that we're going to talk about. We have the OC rewatch marches along, and we will try to get as much information on dates, stuff like that about the shows that are coming out. So you can expect some more regular scheduled content for us. And we know we were a little heavy on reality TV in the previous episodes before we got into the holiday stuff. But guys, that's because that's pretty much that was on. So
plus, if you're not watching Special Forces, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Right? I hope we get more of that in 2024. On that note, Happy New Year, everyone. And we'll see ya next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of We Watch TV, a podcast about the TV shows we watch. You can find more from Hope and Daniel on Instagram at We Watch TV Podcast. Drop us a line if you like the show, have a question, or a recommendation. You can find Hope on Twitter at Lil Runner and Daniel on Twitter at The Real Hobo Dan. Music for today's podcast was provided by Your Tunes from Pixabay. Artwork was created using the AI program Midjourney with prompts written by Daniel.